We are roughly 8 months away from the 2026 midterms here in the United States, and yet Democrats are at their best chance yet to flip not only the House of Representatives, but also the United States Senate. Polling also suggests that they're in a very good shot on the national congressional ballot. So, with that said, what are the 2026 midterms going to look like, and how is it going to shape the balance of power for the last 2 years of President Trump's term? We're going to talk about some of that today with a new Emerson College poll out that suggests that Democrats are up by 8 points on the congressional ballot, the generic congressional ballot for the 2026 midterms. This said, Emerson College had done a poll before this where the margin was, I believe, Democrats +6. So this is a net gain for Democrats of 2 points. Now Democrats are favored 50% to Republicans 42 on the national generic congressional ballot across the country in some of these key races. Now, with that said, there's a few other polls like YouGov, Morning Consult. These were done in later February versus the Emerson College poll done February 21st through the 22nd, and YouGov the 20th through the 23rd, Morning Consult the 20th through the 22nd, and so on. With this said, Morning Consult and YouGov both are saying around a 4-point margin there. So it's going to really shape out in a way that Democrats, in my opinion, are likely to perform very well in these midterm elections. If you've watched my Senate predictions already, you'll see that in my last Senate prediction, which was done roughly a week ago, that I had the Democrats, I had the Republicans winning the United States Senate. I haven't done a complete map on the United States House of Representatives. I'm not necessarily sure that I could do that. I think that would be quite a bit to try and accomplish there. And then there's also battles going on in different states on congressional maps and stuff like that. I believe there's a battle going on in New York. I know there is in Virginia. So that might cause some issues with that as well. But I could talk about specific key races to the United States House of Representatives if you'd like me to do that. I could likely do something of that sort, or even maybe do like state by state on focusing on House of Representative races in certain states that are really going to impact this year's midterm elections. But with that said, the Senate, I still have a Republican control, but I believe I only had it by a margin of 51 to 49 in favor of the in favor of the Republicans. My apologies. So, with that said, this is really going to shape out in a super interesting way, and is going to be a key indicator for the last 2 years of President Trump's term. So let's go ahead and jump in. I want to start by looking at some statistical odds. So, in 2018, Donald Trump lost the House of Representatives. His party did, at least I should say, winning over support overwhelmingly, receiving 235 House seats in 2018. And even if they had lost their tilt and lean Democratic states, we're talking about anywhere from 0.01% to 5% margin, they still, from what I've gathered, they would still have. Actually, maybe wrong on that. I don't want to say for certain. I was going to say that they would still have the House of Representatives, but I think it would be very close if they did. Anyways, let's continue on with the video. Either way, this margin here, 235 to 200, was significant for Democrats. Hakeem Jeffries seems to think that he can build off of this from 2018, the margin there that was there in 2018, and maybe even have a larger victory. So I also want to look at 2016, where Republicans had 241 House seats. So Democrats flipped a huge chunk of those seats in 2018. So going to 2024, when Republicans only have a 2-seat majority, remind you, 218 seats is required to gain control of the House of Representatives, and they only have 220. If we seen even a similar shift, that we did from 2016 to 2018, that would be a huge landslide for Democrats in 2026. Going from 220 seats to probably, very likely, or 215, my apologies, for Democrats to probably well over nearing 250 seats. If they were able to accomplish that, that would be a huge upset for the Democrats. With that said, I want to go over and start talking about Polymarket. Of course, I don't talk about Polymarket a ton on this channel. If I do, I typically don't have the graph on here, so it's interesting that I do today. But I think that this one, this specifically, is really interesting, and I wanted to bring the screen from Polymarket on here to talk about it, because I thought that it'd be important and could really give you guys a general idea of where we stand on things. So, if we date back to, let's see, like October 6th of 2025, Democrats are sitting at a 63% chance of winning the House. If we go up some, Democrats get to towards the end of October, they're sitting at like 58% chance. But we're in a massive difference here now in at the end of February, where Democrats are sitting at an 86% chance of winning the House of Representatives. Now, I have no doubt that Democrats are going to win the House. So I'm not shocked by this at all. I think that it frankly just goes to show the massive shift between voters. And we've seen a even larger shift after Abigail Spanberger won her election. Abigail Spanberger won her election in Virginia. Mikey Sherrill won her election in New Jersey. Zohran Mamdani won his election in New York. Prop 50 passed. We've seen a huge jump there. I mean, we've seen it happen practically overnight, going from the low 60s to low 70s. So a 10-point jump in favor of Democrats, and that's only continued into February. So again, we have 8 months until the election, but this is good news for Democrats where we stand now. I want to switch over and talk about the Senate as well, because I think that's important. If we backtrack this to July of last year, we can see Republicans sitting at a 71% chance of having the Senate. If we fast track to August, September, October, similar margins. After the end of October, slight decrease, and then after Abigail Spanberger won and Mikey Sherrill won in New York and everywhere, Democrats performed well. Republicans' margin lowered even more, hitting 66% in early November after those elections. And then it's only continued to drop until today, where we're sitting at a record low since, February 17th. We've sat at a record low of 60% chance of Republicans winning the Senate, Democrats sitting at a 41% chance. This is fantastic news for Democrats. Of course, I know you're looking at the screen and you're saying, well, Democrats are still behind, and yes, they are. But keep in mind, the margin of the United States Senate in the 2024 election was that of 53 in favor of Republicans to 47 of Democrats. Democrats have to flip 4 seats in 2026 to win back control of the Senate. So this is an incredible development. I mean, the fact that we're sitting even at a 60% margin for Republicans is incredible, because we look at states, and Democrats already have the state of Georgia. They already have the state of Michigan, where they're going to be running in 2026. Of course, I don't have the map up here. I could go back to 2020 and show you what the map is, but these are, of course, 2020 margins. So Democrats have Georgia with John Ossoff. Republicans have Maine with Susan Collins, but Democrats have Michigan. They have seats that traditionally are seats that could be competitive. Seats that they're looking at this year include North Carolina, where I think Roy Cooper is going to win there. Maine, where perhaps, according to one of my recent videos, Graham Plattner may actually end up pulling out the victory in the Democratic primary and winning that race in Maine. We'll have to see what happens, of course, to be sure. But, of course, another perhaps could be a Democratic pickup. So that still only puts Democrats at 49 seats. They still need 2 seats, even if they were able to flip Texas or Alaska. or Iowa or somewhere else, they're still going to have another seat. Because that's only going to put them at a 50-50 margin where J.D. Vance gets to break that tie. So we're looking at a chance where Democrats, according to Polymarket and betting odds, people are putting money that Democrats could have a chance at flipping not only North Carolina, not only Maine, but even states like Texas or Iowa and Alaska. These are significant developments heading into the 2026 midterms where Democrats should feel optimistic. This is good news for Democrats heading into this year's midterm elections, and they should feel optimistic when we're heading into November. So, with that said, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think that the Democrats win the House but lose the Senate? Do you think they sweep and win both? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts. What do you think of this recent development in the poll from University College? It's 8-point margin. Do you agree with that? Do you not? Of course, as always, let me know what you think in the comments below. I love reading through your thoughts, even differences in opinions. I love reading through them, even when you guys get mad at me for having a different opinion than you. I sincerely appreciate it, and I would love for you guys to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more election content, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.